Hello and welcome to this installment of the Flexabed service video series. In this video, you will learn how to both install and remove a motor on your Flexabed. There are two tools you will need to install or remove a Flexabed motor. First, you will need a 9/16 socket wrench. You will also need a 9/16 wrench. First, let's look at how to identify the different motors on your Flexabed. It is important to identify which end of the bed frame is the head end and which is the foot end. In this picture, you can see the end of the bed that has the control box connected to a motor is the head end of the bed. Depending upon the bed model that you have, you should see at least two of the three motors pictured here. All Flexabed models contain a head motor and a foot motor. The head motor is easy to distinguish because the control box is always connected to the head motor. If your bed is a high-low model, you should see a third motor, which is the high-low motor. The high-low motor will point at the same direction as the head motor towards the head end of the bed. All Flexabed motors, regardless of type, are installed with two bolts securing the motor to the frame. In order to remove a motor, these two bolts must be removed from the frame. In order to remove these two bolts, you will need a 9/16 socket wrench and a 9/16 wrench. Place the 9/16 wrench on the nut and the 9/16 socket wrench on the bolt head as seen here. Loosen the bolt from the nut and remove the motor as shown here. After removing the first bolt, you must now remove the bolt from the end of the motor shaft as seen here. Remove the nut and bolt just as you did in the previous step. Once both bolts have been removed, you should now unplug the motor cable from the motor. After the motor cable has been unplugged from the motor, you should now be able to completely remove the motor from the bed. When you are ready to install your new motor, plug the motor cable into your new motor and proceed to the next step. Please note, if you are swapping out a head motor, you will need to attach your new head motor to your control box. You can watch our service video on how to change a control box to assist you in this process. After you have attached your new head motor to the control box, please proceed to the next step. You are now ready to install your new motor. The first step is to insert a motor bolt into the holes in the motor tabs. Make sure the threaded end of the bolt faces the inside section of the bed. Once the bolt is aligned through both motor tabs, hand tighten the nylon lock nut to the bolt. Place a 9/16 wrench on the nylon lock nut and a 9/16 socket wrench on the bolt head. Tighten the bolt until the motor fits snug between the two motor tabs. Be careful not to over-tighten. Next, insert the second bolt at the end of the motor shaft. If the shaft is not in alignment with the holes on the mounting tabs, use your hand control to move the motor in very small increments so that the bolt will align with the holes at the motor shaft. Once you have the bolt aligned through the holes, hand tighten the nylon lock nut. Place a 9/16 wrench on the nylon lock nut and a 9/16 socket wrench on the bolt head and tighten until the motor shaft is snug against the mounting tabs. Be careful not to over-tighten. You have now finished installing your new motor. If you have any questions, please call our service department toll-free at 1-800-648-1256. We are open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you for making Flexabed your bed for life.